Thanks, Jonathan. Today what we're going to do is show how simple it is to measure a stockpile volume out in the field on an existing site. So the first thing we're going to do is go to our Trimble key and hit line type. From there we select a new line, select the line type. We're going to do a volume boundary. So the first thing you have to do is just measure the boundary around your stockpile. Hit accept. You could set it up in walking mode, but because this is a fairly small stockpile, I'm just going to take a shot. It's going to go every 4, 5, 6 feet, just whatever you're comfortable with. Obviously, the more shots you take, the more accurate your calculations are going to be. You know, and another thing you need to watch out for when you're doing these is when you have little features that are sticking out. Maybe you had an extra load that laid off to the side and you want to capture that, then make sure you get some points around there as well. And that's kind of why I like to do the standing mode, is because I can control where my shots are being taken. Obviously, if you were doing a stockpile that was a couple of acres, then you might want to go into walking mode or put it on a four-wheeler and do it that way. Okay, and so when you get back to where you started, you always want to make sure you stop just short. So always make sure that you know where you started. Maybe use your foot, drag a line across through there. It's important that you don't cross. Hit measure one last time, and now you've got your loop. So we're going to simply go back now, hit the Trimble key, and we're going to change. We're going to go to a measurement type again. It's a new line. This time we're going to do a break line. You can give it a name if you want. It says line 2. We'll just accept that. And so we'll start measuring our break line. Now it's important that you do this inside the boundary if you don't want to ever cross lines. So we'll take a shot. And again, just like doing the boundary, the more shots you take, the more accurate your calculations are going to be. So just continue walking. I like to take a shot about every 3 or 4 feet on something small like this. And once you get to the end, take your last shot. Now we're going to go to the home key and we're going to go to the TOPO settings. Once inside of TOPO, we're going to review and edit data. And inside there, you'll see the cube that's selected up here, and you'll see it says compute volume at the top. So the first thing we want to do is select the boundary. So when you see once I selected it, it turned bright blue. If you wanted to put an expansion or a shrinkage factor in here, you could do that at this time. I'm not, obviously something like this is a ground up asphalt. There's really no expansion or shrinking. So I'm going to hit accept. It's computing the volume. You can see here it tells us we have 153 cubic yards. You can hit accept, and so it just computed that volume and saved.